I took it back out last week with the hope that I could finish it, and I am so close, you guys. Hello, my name is Michelle, and this is Michelle's Fiber Studio podcast. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, and this is episode number 104. Wow. Happy Tuesday. Yes, I had a very busy day yesterday, which I will get to later, but it meant that I am now podcasting a day later than I typically do. It is cloudy. Actually, it was raining earlier in the low 70s, but comfortable because it's low 70s, so it's a good temperature. That is what is going on here. I have no finished objects that I want to talk about with you today. I do have updates on my projects, and I have something new on my yarn shelf. But how about we talk about some finished knits that I'm wearing, and look who's back! Marta has returned. I decided I need a little something behind me. So Marta was up here for the week while I was recording my pattern review. There we go. My pattern review last week. And I decided that she would probably make a great addition back into my podcast. So I am wearing my Avenue tee, which I just recently completed by Tori Yu. I am not going to go into great detail because I just released on yesterday, a video that is all about this project and what I think of this pattern and what I changed and all of those things. So go take a look at that video. I will link it up above and see what you think. Marta, however, has the sailing shawl. This is one that I more recently finished last spring. I cast it on middle of February and finished it on May 1st. It is a pattern by Meg Gadsby, and the yarn is Malabrigo Metamorphosis in the sloth colorway. This is yarn that I had on my yarn shelf for probably 3 years, and I find it designated for this pattern because I had seen this exact project at my local yarn shop and wanted to make it, and I finally did. So without further ado, how about we go take a look at the projects in my project bag for this week. I have 3 projects that I'm going to talk about. I'm trying to figure out how I can set this so that I don't drop anything. Let's start with my Aura Lapghan. This is a crochet pattern by Tony Lipsy. It was a knit along, February into March, I do believe. Yeah, it must be because it looks like I started on February 3rd. And I worked on it until about the middle of March, and then I realized I needed to set it aside. I took it back out last week with the hope that I could finish it, and I am so close, you guys. I did finish all of the motifs. I think I had 39 that I had to get done last week, and I pushed and I got all of those done, and I have started sewing it up. So I'm really excited with my progress this week. I have, I think it's 5 or 6 strips done. So you put them into strips, sew them together, and then once all the strips are done, I won't show them all because that would really probably take way too long. But once you get all the strips done, you then sew the strips together, and then there is a border. So this will be done by the end of the week, and I am thrilled. I have 4 more strips to sew together. What I did is I laid them all out on my table once they were done, and I pretty much followed Tony's pattern, but I kind of shifted a few here and there to make it the way that I liked it. And then I picked them up across the row, and I just attached them with a light bulb stitch marker. And I know that this is the stack. I start with this one. I'm going to sew this one to it, and then this one to, all the way across. So There are a lot of seams. This is taking a whole lot longer to seam. Well, I use seaming in the loosest sense of the term because you slip stitch it. So it's not hard. It's just they're not very long. So you're just doing like a short end right there and attaching another one. So it's constant stopping and starting. And I have been being really disciplined, and I am weaving in the ends, both of my seaming ends, as I go along. So all of my strips that are done have all of their ends woven in. So there is at least that. The yarn that I am using is from Hobby Lobby. It is the Baby Bee Sweet Delight. This is my main color. They give me the moon colorway. And then I have shades of green, blue, purple, and some neutral browns are kind of the 4 different tones that are going to be represented in this Lapghan. So I can't wait next week to show this off as a finished object, because come by hook or by crook, let's put it that way, it will be done. So that is project number 1, and it definitely is the project that I focused on the most. I do have a little bit of other updates though on 2 of the other projects that have been kind of on the radar, but I'm in a finishing kick. Like, I really just want to work through these projects that have been ongoing and get them done. So this next one is my Soubrette, which is a pattern by Mary Annarella of Lyrical Knits. This is another one that I started back in February and then got set aside for other things, but I picked it up recently and I'm making some pretty good progress. My needles here are all tangled, and it's a little bit of a slippery yarn, and so sometimes if I'm not careful, I can lose stitches in the process, but there we go. So here we are. That's what it's looking like right now. And if I can find my stitch marker. So last week, oh, we're caught here. There we go. I was right here. So I got, not nothing. I brought it with me to Bible study last week, and then I did work on it here and there various other times when I didn't want to crochet, needed some knitting. This is what I took out. So I'm not upset with the progress that I have made. I am almost done with the first skein. Like, matter of fact, it's probably coming. Yeah, that's what I have left. And my other 2 skeins are already wound up because I had them wound up to take on vacation to New York with me. It is the Illimani Sabri in their fawn colorway. And this is in cotton, 85% cotton, 15% baby alpaca yarn. So it's got lovely drape. It feels wonderful. I am really excited to have it done because I think it's going to be a great school sweater for me. And yes, school is starting soon. So let's see how, I'm not quite ready to wear an additional layer. So, I got time, but we do want to get some progress done. If I can get the Lapghan done, then this will probably slide into the next thing that I really start chunking away. Well, no, I take that back. I really want to finish that, and I didn't work on it at all this week, the chunky scarf. That was my cast on whim project at the beginning of the summer. I really want to get that one done too, and I'm only about halfway on that one. But so that one will probably be the next thing that I really push hard to get through, and then I will focus on this project. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go back, and when I finish that skein of yarn, which is only like what, two rows if I'm lucky, I have enough done on, since I split for their sleeves, and I haven't decided if I'm going to go back and knit the sleeves first and then finish the body, or finish the body and do the sleeves. I don't think there's any other neck because I'm knitting like a band and it goes all the way around. So I don't think there's anything else in that as far as a collar that needs to be done. This needs to really be blocked and stretched out. There we go. That's a little better. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what I'm feeling when I finish that skein of yarn. I'm actually kind of leaning towards just continuing the body. I know I have plenty of yarn. I have 2 full skeins that are wound up, and I'm pretty sure I got 4 skeins. I think I still have a skein that I didn't wind up. So I got plenty of yarn to make this however long I want. A lot of times, yes, it finishes it, but it also allows me to put the most length on the garment. So that's kind of one of the big reasons why I like to do the sleeves first. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned on that one. The last project only got just a teeny tiny little bit of work, but it got work. And this is my Musselburgh, which I cast on originally last winter, I think, November 11th. And I don't have in my notes, I just have hibernating in my notes. And I don't remember when it started hibernating. I want to say in January or February. I really don't think I worked on it much after that, although it has made appearances when it has been appropriate. I brought it with me to my son's graduation, and I brought it most recently with me to the theater. We went to a show. Well, I'll talk about more in a little bit, and I was working on it then, and I got a decent amount done in the show. So right here, so that's like what, an inch and a half, maybe, I would say I got done. So, you know, it's coming along. This is my second Musselburgh hat for me. I have the first one that I made that I keep at work, so that way if I have to go out for duty, I have a hat, and I didn't want to have to remember to schlep it back and forth. So this is my yarn. Is my Hypnotic yarn. It was my Yarnables subscription. It was the November of 2025 in the Wild Current colorway. And I love the colors. This is so me. The greens and like a bluey green and purples, and yeah, this is so me. Browns, like, yeah. I'm really excited to have this done. And it will probably, I've moved it into my purse. I actually got a purse, and I'm starting to bring a purse around with me. So it is officially my purse project. It's probably going to be what I work on at Bible study tomorrow night. I brought my soubrette last week, and it was a little bulky. So I'm pretty sure I'm just going to bring this. So I think this is now going to be coming out and be starting to get some regular progress on it. And hopefully we'll be done by the time it gets cold. So that is all that I have to report on my project bag this week. I had some happy mail last week. I don't remember exactly which day. I want to say Tuesday or maybe Wednesday. It was obviously after I recorded, but I did get my August Woolen Women Box. I call it August. I actually think technically it's the July box, but the shipping schedule that they're on makes it so it always comes like within the first 2 weeks of the month. And it seems to be themed for this month. So I'm calling it the August box. So it technically might not, but this month we have a theme of peace, love, and wool. Super fun. And let me show you the goodies. So again, there's always a candle. This one is orange blossom, dahlia, and pear. Their candles smell so good. I have so many of them. I did burn one last week. I had a day that I was in the house all day long, and I pulled one out, and it was delightful. And I think I'm actually going to show you here, let me show you this. So we've got a lotion bar. No, this is a wool wash bar, but it's in a stick form. Have you guys ever seen that before? Wow. Apple, raspberry, and elderflower. Oh, that's cool. Ooh, it smells good too. Okay, I didn't even notice that when I got it last week. I got a little tape measure wrapped up on a spindle. Kind of fun. All right, now I'm going to show you the project bag before I show you the stitch markers, because I think it'll make a little bit more sense. So peace, love, wool, remember? What do you think? Is that great or what? I think I need to put my soubrette in this. That'll make it, it's still in a Valentine's one because that's what I cast the project on. So I think that's definitely what I'm going to be doing. It's got a lovely purple fabric on the inside. So fun. I'm starting to get quite the collection of project bags thanks to Woolen Women Fiber. And I don't really want to stop. So here are the, oops, there we go. The charms from Sam's Tiny Trinkets. I might need to update my charm on that one too. And finally, the yarn. How fun is this? I have no idea what I will use this for. It'll go on my shelf and eventually it will tell me. But for right now, I'm just enjoying the colors. Peace, love, and wool. So I really have been enjoying these boxes. It's kind of like my little guilty pleasure every month, but so much fun. So go check them out, Woolen Women Fiber. I will link them down below in the show notes. Well, that brings me to my day today, and last week really was just all about soaking up the last of my vacation before school starts officially next week. I'm in denial, but it's gonna be okay. So let's see, on Tuesday last week, I had lunch with my sister-in-law. We haven't had a chance to do that in a long time. And here, she's a teacher as well. And here it took us until the end of August before we could do it. But it was great. We were like, oh my gosh, I think it was like 3 hours. The little diner that we went to is not far from our homes. We live like half a mile apart. And we shut them down. Like, we were there for lunch and they close at 2, I think it is. And we were, they were pretty much shutting down as we're like, okay, I guess we need to go now. So that was a lot of fun. On Wednesday, I had a really fun opportunity to spend some time on Casco Bay, which is the ocean bay in Portland. And it was an organization, I can't remember the name of the organization, but it is a company that we work with, my school works with, and we send our 8th graders on an oceanography trip every year. And we have done, in the last 2 years, we've done small groups. I actually found out yesterday that this year we are sending the entire 8th grade class. So this particular trip last week was set up and scheduled specifically for school counselors. And there was only like 5 or 6 of us. It was a small group, but we were on like a water taxi and we spent 3 hours on Casco Bay and it was phenomenal. I got to learn all about aquaculturing and we went to an oyster farm, we went to a mussel farm, we had somebody talking about lobstering, and it was so beautiful. The weather couldn't have been more spectacular. It really was great. We saw a sea lion and a porpoise, or so I'm told. It was a porpoise. But that was really cool. And I ended up driving into Portland with my husband because he works in Portland, and had him drop me off at the dock. And then his office is only about half a mile or so from the dock. So when we came back, I actually walked back up and got a little bit of a walk in too. So it was great. And then I spent the rest of the afternoon with him in his office, and we all, we came back home together. So it was a really fun, really fun day. And best of all, it was free. I didn't have to pay for it, and I get CEUs for it. So win, win, win. And I think one of the takeaways that I really got is all about aquaculturing and the industry as a whole, and how I can speak a little bit more knowledgeably about that to my students and kind of plant those seeds of that as an opportunity. And then of course they're going to get to experience it as 8th graders as well. So very cool. Let's see. Thursday, I had nothing on my calendar. Well, except for Thursday night, I did have rehearsal. But all day long, I had nothing on my calendar. And I made it a point to do nothing. Well, not nothing, right? I'm a knitter, right? So I spent a lot of time working on my Aura Lapghan, watching videos. That's the day that I had the candle burning behind me in my chair, and really just enjoying the fact that I had no obligations that day and soaking it in. I think Thursday this week is another day that I'm going to be able to do that, and you better believe that that is what I plan to do. It was fabulous. Friday night, my husband and I had tickets to our local community theater, and they were performing Wizard of Oz. And oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I think that they literally did the movie scene by scene. I cannot think of anything that was left out. It was about 2.5 hours. It started at 7:30 and we didn't get out until after 10. But it was great. They did a fantastic job. They had a live dog that was so cute. I think it was a Jack Russell, but about that size and shape. Oh my gosh, so cute. And a lot of the scenes, a lot of times they would come out with the dog and then they would kneel and put the dog down and the dog would immediately run off stage. So I'm pretty sure that the dog quickly learned that if you go off stage, you get treats. I do suspect. But they did such a great job, and it was a large cast. And oh my gosh, the guy who played Scarecrow, wow, can he move? Like, just limber. Of course, you all know the Scarecrow. I'm assuming you've probably all seen The Wizard of Oz, or like me, grew up on it, right? And so Scarecrow is the one who is like, just in his song has got all these acrobatics and moves, and oh my gosh, this guy was so good. It was well cast, very well done. And then let's see, the weekend was relatively quiet, and then yesterday I did have to go to work. We had our team leaders meeting, and so it was all day. We got there at like 8 and we didn't get out until almost 3, but we are kind of up to speed on what is going on. I'm probably gonna have to do some work tomorrow, which I'm hoping if I front load will mean that next week when I start, it will be a much smoother and quieter week, because last year, my beginning of the year 2 days were awful. I mean, I don't know if awful is the right way to put it. It was stressful, overwhelming, and I don't feel like I ever really recovered from that the entire year. So I'm really hoping if I put some work in tomorrow that it will kind of pave the way and make next week a little smoother. So that's the hope and that's the theory. Along those lines, I am going to try to record a podcast next week, but I am not going to make any promises because Monday is our first official day back. It's a workshop day. Monday, Tuesday are workshop days, and then the kids return on Wednesday. So I don't know. I don't know. If I can, I can, and if I can't, well, then you won't see one next Thursday, and I will definitely podcast the week after that. So I believe that is everything. Oh, I still would love to add a questions segment into the podcast. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below so that I can answer them. I've also started adding additional videos, but if you have a topic that you would like me to cover, please also put that down below, because I've got a few ideas, but I don't have that many, and they're gonna quickly run out. But I love putting the videos together, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. I don't necessarily know what to talk about. So if you have any ideas for videos, let me know. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I will have links down below in the comments or in the show notes there of all of the things that I have talked about. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Knittin' Michelle, KNITTINMICHELLE. You could also send me an email at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. And with that, I hope you have a fantastic week and happy knitting.